we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the Wofford College senior class of 2019, escorted by the class of 1969.
Students, colleagues, parents, grandparents, and family members and friends, welcome to Wofford College for the commencement for the class of 2019. Today we offer a special welcome to the members of the class of 1969 who know how to have some fun. Even ran the buses very late last night, I understand. You've returned today to renew your lifelong dedication to Wofford and to usher in our newest alumni into the world, a world in which you yourselves have balanced life and labor so successfully. Let us begin. The Reverend Meredith Dark, Wofford class of 2010, chaplain at the Oaks in Orangeburg, South Carolina, will offer the invocation. After the invocation, I ask that you remain standing as Professor Gary McGraw leads us in Wofford's traditional commencement hymn, From All That Dwell Below the Skies. Reverend Dark.
Let us pray. God of all people, as we gather on our city's northern border to celebrate Wofford's graduating class of 2019, may each student find in Wofford a permanent home and community for years to come. In times of triumph or sorrow, may they return to this place to remember who they are and reconnect with the dreams and hopes they pursued. As they might recall the first smell of the dorm, the pounding in their chest, and the excitement they felt. Help them know that change is a part of life. They will encounter hilltops and valleys, as this is normal. And when they do, help them be resilient, seeking counsel like the voices that meant so much to them here. Voices of friends, professors, faculty, staff, and family members. Thank you especially for these family members' love and support. Grant the graduates humility that the privilege of education will be rightly used to help make a better world, not just pursue a career. Their gifts can be used for means that further individual good or a greater good. May they comprehend the world around them with compassion and respond to the many ways the world cries out for healing. Today is the beginning of another journey. May they take heart and not be afraid. Instill in them confidence in the areas they pursue. Their fullness of creation is yet to be revealed. Grant each of them blessings on the journey. Amen.
From all that dwell below the skies, let the Creator's praise arise. Let the Redeemer's name be sung through every land, by every tongue. Eternal are thy mercies, Lord. Eternal truth attends thy word. Thy praise shall sound from shore to shore, till sun shall rise and set no more.
Thank you. Please be seated. It is one of our newer traditions at Wofford College to ask successful graduates to return as our commencement speaker. And what better way to inspire all of us than to show the product of a transformational liberal arts educational experience that is distinctive to Wofford. I'm particularly excited about today's commencement speaker because her story is one of truly passionate service, fearlessness, and world-changing commitment to humanity. In November 2014, Dr. Catherine Ann Katie Close, a 1983 graduate, left for Liberia as a member of the AmeriCares Ebola team. She and 2 other physicians led a group sent to respond to a crisis that, at the time, had the entire world afraid to travel. She has spent a career in medicine serving almost exclusively the population of poor and underserved and ignored citizens of her community and the community of the greater world. Katie follows in the fearless footsteps of her mother, Anne Springs Close, who was a trailblazer in her own right. Anne, who was the first woman to serve on the Board of Trustees here at Wofford in 1974, chairing the board from 1984 to 1986, is with us as a special guest today. Katie will be awarded an honorary degree later in the program, so for now, I'm just going to say that she is a true hero and one of the college's most distinguished graduates. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 commencement speaker, Dr. Katie Close.
President Sam Hatt, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, professors, families, and most importantly, you graduates. I am honored to be here. I'm terrified, but I'm honored. No doubt, even though he just said all those nice things about me, some of you are still wondering, why in the world is she talking to us? Couldn't they get somebody famous? Couldn't they get somebody better? But even if they had gotten someone famous and erudite and important, the fact remains, nobody ever remembers who speaks at their graduation. Last year, after I got the call to speak at the graduation, I was with my friends, the McClarys and the Mannings. You graduates know the McClary's daughter, Marguerite, and the Manning's son, Lyden, because they're right there with you. I was telling Marguerite and Lyden that I had been asked to be y'all's speaker. When Marguerite's mom heard me say that, she laughed so hard she spit out her drink on me. But she quickly rebounded by remarking that at least Marguerite and Lyden would remember who spoke at their graduation. The good news is, I am not going to harp on how much time you spend on social media, not another word. And I'm not going to use quotes that only the English majors understand. And the best part is, I promise to you, as your gift, I'm going to make this the shortest graduation speech in Wofford history. The bad news is, I don't get to mention my mentors, Dr. Dobbs and Leonard and Hubbard and Patton, nor John Cobb, the late great English professor. And I don't have time to tell you what chaos this place was when the Lasanes and the Maltzbys ran it. It was awful. As for y'all, I can't go through all your sports and academic awards. There are far too many. And I'm just not going to mention any statues or stadiums or even the beautiful new art center. Not even going to mention Mr. Milliken's trees. So, what should I say? My story is not that inspiring. I was lucky enough to be born into a wealthy family, and luckier still to find my passion early. I always wanted to be a doctor, and I was passionate about it. But passion means nothing without persistence. If you're passionate about something, you have to keep at it. You have to keep with it. One of my heroes was a guy named Albert Schweitzer. He was a Swiss concert pianist, and he lived a very cushy life. Then in middle age, he decided to go back to med school and build a hospital in Africa. He was a true humanitarian. He was also good for quotes that everybody can understand. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. For many years, I worked at a hospital that was named for Dr. Schweitzer in Haiti. I fell in love with it, but let me tell you, staying in love with it was difficult. It was hot and poor, smelled like a sewer. A lot of the time there was no electricity. Forget about air conditioning. I was on a first-name basis with the tennis ball-sized tarantulas that lived in my bedroom. But lucky's the wrong word, but I was lucky enough to be able to treat things like TB, HIV, malaria, cholera, and a host of other exotic diseases that most people never get to see. But I was also physically threatened, tear gassed, put in jail, lied to, spit on, and most horridly, I would have to watch patients die of gross neglect. But there were small victories. The countless times I stayed up all night to titrate a drip for a woman with heart failure, and then I was able to see her leave the hospital with her young baby. Or the hundreds of nights I drug myself out of bed to check a potassium on a kid with diabetic ketoacidosis, and next week see him playing soccer. I had my passion, but without persistence, it would have been pointless. During some of those endless trying days at that hospital, I would go sit by a rock in the middle of the garden. On it was another quote by Dr. Schweitzer: "You can't save the world today, but today you can make one patient's life easier." Not everyone can win court cases, save lives, build cancer centers, be artistic, fight for their country, write books, play pro ball, or win Survivor. But every one of you can make a difference to someone every day. Little victories are important. My late great friend, Allison Nation, a Wofford parent twice, was talking to my mom one day after I had come back from Liberia. My mother said to her, "Well, Allison, what do you do all day while Katie is off saving the world?" Allison replied without skipping a beat, "Ms. Close, some people were put on this earth to save the world. Some people were put on this earth to make them drinks when they come home." On the theme of drinks, I mentioned my friends Salters and Woofie McCleary earlier. Salters and I were here together. We weren't saving humanity. We weren't saving anything. In fact, I'm surprised we graduated. But we both had passion. I had a passion for medicine, and Salters had a passion for a girl from Converse named Woofie Knight. Salters and Woofie settled in Pawleys Island, and back then Pawleys Island wasn't some kind of ground zero for entrepreneurial passion, but they had a passion for food and drink. They bought an old grocery store at the main intersection there. Through hard work and long days and longer nights, they turned it into a world-class restaurant. Salters learned the construction business and how to build a pizza oven. Woofie learned how to cook and run a kitchen. Were they born knowing this stuff? Did they learn that at Wofford and Converse? I don't think so. They had to figure it out. It's not enough to just have passion and be persistent. You need to continue to learn. Wofford only started your education. While I realize 2/3 of you will eventually go on to graduate school, that isn't the only way to continue your education. Life is continuing education. Don't ever think you know enough. The McClarys, like many other Wofford graduates, also participate in another great Wofford tradition. They know that their obligation doesn't end at their doorstep. You can find them working at most every charity event in the area. The great American educator Horace Mann said, "Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity." As Wofford graduates, we have all been given a great deal. And as the saying goes, to those given a lot is expected. Wofford graduates everywhere know that success is also defined by giving back to your community. I was fortunate enough to get to know a great lady who gave a great deal to her community and this country, Barbara Bush. She passed away just a year ago. She was the wife of a president, a mother of a president, and that is a distinction she shares with just one other woman, Abigail Adams. Both Ms. Bush and my mother left Smith College after World War II in order to marry the men they loved. That meant not graduating. That was the rule back then. They weren't allowed to think that they could have it all. In 1976, this school made a decision to become completely coeducational. My mother was put on the board here to help smooth that transition. At 93, she's the mother of 8, grandmother of 29, great-grandmother of 20. She swims 3 miles a week, travels extensively, rides a bike and her horse. Did I mention she was blind? I wasn't supposed to mention that. But anyway, she is the epitome of persistence. She has a lifelong love of learning and a passion for giving back. She was the reason, or at least some small part of it, that Wofford has been able to embrace changes. I'd like to introduce my mother, Ann Springs Close. In 1982, as a woman here, I was a minority in the science department. No one told us we could have it all, but we were at least allowed to try to have it all. 10 years after that, in the early 90s, Mrs. Bush was invited to give the commencement speech at Wellesley, a women's college outside of Boston. Some of the students protested. They said she shouldn't be allowed to speak because she was just a wife. Wiser heads prevailed, and Mrs. Bush ended up speaking. As she closed her speech, she said, "At the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal. You will regret time not spent with a husband, a child, or a parent." Family is important. It always has been at Wofford. Your families have sacrificed a lot to get you here and to keep you here. You owe them a great gratitude. But here at Wofford, you've gained another family, the people sitting with you. They may not look like you, but hopefully they have enlarged your world and your heart. Your fellow alumni will continue to surprise and delight you if you choose to stay engaged with them. Wofford was all white until 1964 when Albert Gray enrolled. This brave man went on to serve in Vietnam, came back and graduated, and he was then on the board of the trustees for Wofford. While Wofford was the first private school in the state to enroll African Americans, we still have a way to go. There may not be cowardly people with their faces obscured in white robes and pointy hats walking among us, but the country we live in today still has people who let hate define them, and terrible things still happen, as they did in Charleston and Charlottesville. You may have been sheltered from that ugliness here, but you won't always be. And you can help change that because you have been fortunate. You've been fortunate to have been in this idyllic setting where things like that seem a world away. You are fortunate enough to have a voice that can speak up loudly for injustices in this world and against hate and inequality. You are fortunate to have made friendships with a diverse group of people you might never have known, broadening your horizons. And you're fortunate enough to be given advantages that most people in the world never could dream of. And you're fortunate enough to know you can have it all. I'm fortunate enough to have been given the honor of telling the Wofford class of 2019 to go out there, use your voice, find your passion, and kick butt.
Thank you, Katie, for that wonderful, wonderful talk. Lots of lessons there for our class of 2019 and all of us. Mr. R. Michael James, Chairman of the Wofford College Board of Trustees, Dr. Timothy Schmitz, Associate Provost, and Ms. Jennifer Allison, College Registrar, will now assist me in presenting the awards and degrees. To begin, Wofford College is one of a select group of colleges and universities authorized by the New York Southern Society to convey annually the Algernon Sidney Sullivan and Mary Mildred Sullivan Awards. The Sullivans moved from the South to New York during the mid-19th century and built distinguished careers. They became symbols of the highest standards of humanity and achievement. And their friends established these awards as a tribute to them both. Each year, confidential college committees choose 2 recipients for each of the awards. One of the recipients of each award must be a student, the other a non-student, but a person with some interest or association with the college. The awards recognize individuals whose nobility of character and service sets them apart as examples to all. We will recognize the non-student recipients first. Will student marshals please escort Ms. Wanda Cheeks Holmes to the podium as the 2019 Mary Mildred Sullivan Award recipient. I'm also pleased to, I believe, surprise my good friend R. Michael James as the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award recipient. Please join us up front. Wanda is the director of the Northwest Center for the City of Spartanburg Parks and Recreation Department. She loves our community and citizens. In her own words, I love to help improve Spartanburg, one child, teen, young, adult, family, school, and community at a time. She's proven this over and over through her out-of-the-box thinking, selflessness, and service. She's been a major player in the Northside Initiative and a great friend and partner of the college. For 16 years of trustee service, Mike James has made countless contributions to the improvement of life on this campus for students, faculty, and staff. 11 years ago, Mike and his wife, Katie, started a student-managed investment club that has served as a catalyst for additional generosity and incredible opportunity for our students to gain hands-on experience in the world of finance. At every turn, Mike has been a generous benefactor, advocate, and most recently a leader of the chair of the Board of Trustees. I want to thank them both and congratulate them both. Next, I ask that the student marshals escort to the stage this year's Mary Mildred Sullivan and Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award recipients from the class of 2019, Victoria Wankadu and Will Randall. Victoria is an international affairs and Spanish major from Florence, South Carolina, and Will is a biology and Spanish major from Greenville, South Carolina. They have both led the Wofford community by example and honor Wofford College and the Sullivans by allowing us to recognize them. Congratulations. It is now my privilege to present the Philip Covington Award for Excellence in the Teaching of the Humanities and Social Sciences. Wofford College is devoted to the teaching and learning of undergraduates. This award, now presented for 13 years, is named after a beloved longtime professor and academic dean. It carries with it a $15,000 award allocated over a period of 3 years, designed specifically to provide further opportunities for professional development. It is with great pleasure that I recognize Dr. Alan Chalmers, Professor of English, with the 2019 Philip Covington Award for Excellence in the Teaching of Humanities and Social Sciences. Please escort Dr. Chalmers to the stage. Dr. Chalmers, who recently served as chairman of the English department, holds a BA in English Literature from the University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom and master's in doctoral degrees from the University of Southern California. Congratulations, Dr. Chalmers, who's escorted by his wife, Professor Sally Hitchmouth. She should come up too. She deserves a round of applause. This year, for the 15th time, I'm pleased to announce the Roger Milliken Award for Excellence in the Teaching of Science. The recipient, chosen each year by a committee of scientists and business executives from outside the college, will receive an award of $50,000 allocated over a decade, designed to provide opportunities for professional development. So far as I know, there is no such teaching award anywhere in the academic world to rival this one. But then it was Mr. Milliken's expectation that nowhere else in the world will such teachers be found. The recipient of the 2019 Roger Milliken Award for Excellence in the Teaching of Science is Professor and Chair of the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Jamaica Bryan Hill. Please escort Dr. Hill to the podium. A 1988 Wofford graduate, Dr. Hill not only teaches and chairs the Department of Chemistry, she has served as a faculty athletics representative for the past 13 years. She is at every single event and cheers our teams on to athletic and academic success. She holds a PhD in organic chemistry from Clemson University. Congratulations, Dr. Hill.
Of great significance at a college like ours is the departure of colleagues who have shared our labors on campus and in the classroom for many years. This year, I'd like to take a moment to thank our retiring colleague and our friend and applaud his years of service to the college. Dr. Charles Kay, Professor of Philosophy, has served the college for 33 years. The Board of Trustees voted at its spring meeting to grant him the status of Professor Emeritus. Charlie, please stand in the faculty section so that we may thank you for your work as a teacher, mentor, and scholar.
It is now the college's distinct privilege to award honorary degrees to 4 distinguished individuals and friends of the college. Associate Provost Timothy Schmitz will make these presentations.
Will faculty sponsor Dr. Sissy Fowler join us on stage, and let me ask Dr. Catherine Ann Close to join me at the podium as well. Dr. Close has spent much of her medical career providing services to those with the most need: AIDS patients, people in hospice, those without the resources to pay for medical care, and those affected by natural disasters and disease outbreaks. In 2011, she served on the Board of Physicians for Human Rights and traveled to Libya to investigate alleged war crimes committed by the Gaddafi regime. And in 2014, she was recruited by AmeriCares to start an Ebola treatment unit in Liberia. She has spent years taking medical students to Haiti, and she founded a successful free medical clinic in her home area of Georgetown County, South Carolina, as well. The world is her clinic. We are fortunate that she and her family have maintained close ties to Wofford, serving on the Board of Trustees of the college and supporting numerous projects and programs aimed to challenge students and prepare them for the future.
Dr. Catherine Ann Close, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science. Congratulations.
Will faculty sponsor Dr. Stacy Hedis please escort Alice Ross Ballard to the platform? Alice Ballard's love of nature is evident in every form, color, and texture of her pottery. The acclaimed ceramicist from Greenville, South Carolina, inspires art lovers and nature lovers alike. It is to our benefit that she has chosen to share her gift through teaching. Ballard has taught at colleges and universities, as well as with the Penland School of Crafts and the Aramont School of Crafts at the Mint Museum. Her work is in the permanent collection of the Smithsonian American Art Museum's Renwick Gallery in Washington, D.C., as well as in the permanent collections of the Mint Museum in Charlotte, the Resin Ceramic Colony in the Republic of Macedonia, the Tennessee State Art Collection in Nashville, and the South Carolina State Collection in Columbia. We at Wofford salute Alice Ballard as a sterling example of one whose life as an artist and educator truly matters. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you Alice Ross Ballard so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts.
Alice Ross Ballard, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts. Congratulations.
Will faculty sponsor Dr. Karen Goodchild please escort Marcia Harrison Gibbs to the platform? Marcia Gibbs is a savvy businesswoman, tireless supporter of education and healthcare, community visionary, and a genuinely nice human being. She and her husband, Jimmy Gibbs, built their company, Gibbs International, into a major international force, not only in the textile industry, but also in the areas of real estate development and energy generation. While doing so, she was instrumental in bringing the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program to children in our area. The Tri-Delta Sorority House on our campus bears her name, as does the world-class Gibbs Cancer Center at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. Her imprint on innumerable educational institutions, human service organizations, and projects throughout the upstate is indelible. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you Marcia Harrison Gibbs so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Marcia Harrison Gibbs, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Will staff sponsor Coach Josh Conklin please escort Joe Earl Taylor to the platform? Joe Taylor knows how to work. While in college, he began working with his father to produce pre-cut log buildings that became Southland Log Homes, based in Irmo, South Carolina. In 2006, after selling his business, Governor Mark Sanford appointed Taylor Secretary of Commerce for the state of South Carolina. In that role, he successfully attracted employers to the state during the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. He has served faithfully on the Wofford Board of Trustees, chairing the Finance Committee between 2010 and 2015. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you Joe Earl Taylor so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
Joe Earl Taylor, in recognition of your good character and attainments, and on behalf of the faculty and trustees of Wofford College, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities. I would now like to recognize 11 Wofford College students who were commissioned yesterday as second lieutenants in the U.S. Army. I have no doubt that these servant leaders will make Wofford College proud. Please stand while I call your name, and when all newly 11 commissioned officers are standing, please join me in honoring their commitment. Colin Baum, Aaron Blakely, Austin Ciufo, Jason Cox, Andrea Heatherly, Connor Hickle, Trey Nelson, Cole Sanford, Donnie Settle, Dane Zawinski, and Vivian Tran. Thank you. Associate Provost Schmitz will now announce the 2019 honor graduate and present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees. This graduation exercise also includes those who completed their work in February 2019 and some who will complete their program of study during the next few months, so some degrees will be conferred in absentia.
Will the junior marshals please escort William Furtick Randall to the stage? The honor graduate at Wofford must be intelligent, disciplined, and committed to working hard each and every day. Such is the nature of the academic enterprise at a Phi Beta Kappa liberal arts college. This year's honor graduate earned a 4.0 grade point average and was inducted into Phi Beta Kappa as a junior. Ladies and gentlemen, I present William Furtick Randall, the 2019 honor graduate at Wofford College. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand? Mr. President, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science have been duly instructed and examined by the faculty and have been found worthy. On behalf of the faculty, I present them to you for the conferring of their appropriate degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of South Carolina, upon the completion of all graduation requirements, with the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees of Wofford College, I confer upon each of you, as appropriate to your course of study, the degree of Bachelor of Arts and/or Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please come forward individually to receive their diplomas? As is the tradition at Wofford College, I ask the audience to withhold expressions of congratulations until the entire group has been recognized. All right. Kick me if I'm too slow. Caroline Elizabeth Adams, in absentia. Robert Blaine Alexander. Samuel Bennett Alford, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Clark Allen, cum laude. Grace Emery Allen. Spencer Barry Alverson. Michael Chadwick Anderson, magna cum laude. Cameron James Andrade, in absentia. Kathleen Mabry Bear. Patricia Brooke Baird, magna cum laude. David Palmer Baldock. Kyle Thomas Barr. Robert Mason Barrett, Jr., magna cum laude. Katie Elizabeth Barth, magna cum laude. Marissa Lyndon Bayer. Armando Joshua Badenbaugh Cortez, in absentia. Robert Brockton Belcher. Ava Jean Ballou, cum laude. Miles Allen Bidwell. Robert Ellison Bivens. Aaron Levi Blackley. Benjamin James Boatwright. Jessica Lynn Barucki, in absentia. Griffin David Bosserman. Christina Elizabeth Boyd. Monica Renee Branch, cum laude. Andrew Carson Brimmer, magna cum laude. Benjamin Talley Bridgman. Miles J. Brown. Samuel Richard Brown. Mary Elizabeth Bruner. Parker Davis Buchanan. Charlotte Ann Bureau. Hannah Louise Burnett. Kyla Elise Berwick. Jacob William Carter. Luther Frederick Carter. Curran Allen Carver, summa cum laude. Mary Bradley Cassida, cum laude. Eduardo Javier Castillo Urdaneta. Jeffrey Paul Calder. Spencer Galloway Cheek. Caroline Betts Chester. Austin John Chiufo. Ashley Faye Resek Clark, cum laude. Cole Tiley Cleary. William Dean Cobb. William Douglas Coleman, Jr. Addison Marie Cooper. Andrew Brett Copeland II. Congratulations, Drew. Hickson Barnes Kopp. Emily Elizabeth Cox, magna cum laude. Jason Carroll Cox. Leah Nicole Kraft, in absentia. Bridget Ann Crotty. Valerie Nicole Cullen. Margaret Ann Curran, summa cum laude. Merle Elizabeth Dale. Jordan Fisher Dombach. Oli Martin Wadham Davinger, magna cum laude. Helen Grace Davidson, summa cum laude. William Hayes Davidson. Noah Benjamin de Leon. James David DeShong II. Ellis Lawrence Richard DiStefano. Glennon Connor Donahue, magna cum laude, in absentia. Tatiana Iharana Dragoon, cum laude. Cheyenne Elizabeth Dunn. Anna Rish Durham. Alexis Janae Eaton. Megan Elizabeth Eberhardt. Francisco Dakota Ferre. Emma Kate Fletcher, magna cum laude. Henry Jacob Barnt Frengel. Britta Lindsay Gabrielson. Caroline Blake Gant. Anthony Thomas Garcia. George Harris Beasy. Taylor Elizabeth Jane Gill, cum laude. Catherine Hatteras Gergen, cum laude. Dudley Alexander Graham, cum laude. Mary Elizabeth Grant. Lila Blaine Leslie Greer. Catherine Pamela Greisinger, cum laude. Emily Nicole Griffin, cum laude. Grace Everett Griffin, cum laude. John Charles Williams Halligan. Emily Bordeaux Ham, magna cum laude. Ross Hudson Hammond. Manur J. Hack, cum laude. Joseph Samuel Harbisevich. Day Adair Harmoning, cum laude. Mary Burgess Harrelson, cum laude. Olivia Grace Head. Conrad Randall Heinrich, cum laude. Oh, summa cum laude, thank you. I didn't highlight the first word. Armani DeAnthony Helliger. Austin Alani Hennings. Ashley Marie Hepburn, cum laude. Philip Witherington Hester. Connor Jeffrey Hickel. Cassidy Marie Hicks, magna cum laude. James Austin Higginbotham. Jason Lamar Hill II. William John Hinton. Madison Blakely Height, cum laude. Alexandra Grace Catherine Holland, in absentia. Sean Edward Holmes, cum laude. Lawrence Byerly Holt III. Zachary Asa Howell, cum laude. Samantha Leah Hubbard, magna cum laude. Kathleen Hollins Hughes, summa cum laude. Molly Elizabeth Humphreys, cum laude. Catherine Clem Husselby, cum laude. Callie Elizabeth Ivy. Catherine Burgess Jarrett. Alia Simone Jones, cum laude. Bijane Milan Jones, Halden Eric Young. Kia Morgan Kaiser. Sydney Jacqueline Kale, summa cum laude. Nicholas Stephen Karras. Davis William Keller, magna cum laude. Drayden Malig Ty Kelly. Caroline Quillen Kennedy. Creighton Robert Knight. Alyssa Nicole Koziarski. Patricia Fredenel Kuntz, in absentia. Virginia Elizabeth Lackey, cum laude. Dominique James Lemon. Mark Pearson Llewellyn II, cum laude. Randolph Kent Liggett, Jr. Mason Alexis Liner. Adam Curtis Little. Catherine Toy Littleton. Jane Bratton Lockwood. Caroline Elizabeth Moss, cum laude. Fletcher Yates McGee. Thaddeus Zacchaeus Mangum. Aubrey Morgan Manley. Madeline Marie Marceron. Trent McKeon Markwith. David Graham Massey. Julian Reed Massey. Lennox Will McAfee. Shannon Shea McAndrew, cum laude. Marguerite Ayers McClary. Grant Wilson McClure, magna cum laude. Dixie Nicole McCollum, summa cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth McCorkle, magna cum laude. Megan Ashley McCulley. Patrick David McLean, Jr. Robert Fletcher McLean II. Matthew Brennan McQuilla. Hunter Cole Mestman. Lauren Christine Miller, magna cum laude, in absentia. Logan Brokaw Miller. Anna Grace Minor, magna cum laude. William Alexander Mitchell IV. Bethany Leah Takara Moore, magna cum laude. Kirkland O'Shea Morrow. Margaret Grace Mullins, cum laude. Madison Delaney Myers. John Richard Nelson III, cum laude. Hannah Lynn Newsom. Glenn Anthony Niles III. Chinyere Victoria Wankadu, magna cum laude. Jackson Walters Ogburn. William Pierce Ormond. Grant Cooper Page. Cassandra Allegra Pankey, cum laude. Nathan Vikram Patnam. Cassandra Noel Patterson. Matthew Scott Pegram. Jack Davidson Farr, in absentia. Anna Adams Phillips. Shelby K. Pollock. John Carlton Price. Matthew Breyer Price. Kevin Anand Quiss. Anne Lanier Britt Rand. Tyler Scott Reginelli. Tanner Dale Rankin. Landon Lee Lamson Renner. Adrian Joyce Rentz, magna cum laude. Matthew Brevard Reynolds, cum laude. Carissa Lynn Rhodes, magna cum laude. Stephen Fitzgerald Ridley, Jr. Carter Joseph Reef, magna cum laude. Madison Lauren Risch. Alexander Thomas Ristaino. J. Charles Rivera. Payne Darville Robertson, in absentia. Zoe Elijah Earl Robinson. Andrew Monroe Romance. Yashira Shanice Roseborough. Weston Timothy Roundtree. Lening Ruan. William Cowles Sanford, Jr., cum laude. Claire Elizabeth Scavone, summa cum laude. Anna Lee Marcella Schneider, magna cum laude. Morgan K. Schrader, cum laude. Richard Bowen Schwabe III. Caitlin Elizabeth Scott. Helen Susan Settlemeyer, magna cum laude. Danielle Marie Sainert. Donnie Lee Settle. Taeyang Shin, cum laude. Sarah Catherine Short. Natalie Hudson Simpkins. Sophia Michelle Siriani. Catherine Baird Slater. Florence Gregory Sloan, cum laude. David Douglas Slusher. Sophia Kempshaw Smith. Wesley Steele Smith, cum laude. J.C. Cameron Sohm, summa cum laude. William Riley Stamper. Kendall Marie Stanley. Anna Kinget Stoffer, cum laude. Charlotte Elizabeth Stillwell, cum laude. Andre Deshun Stoddard, in absentia. Moise Andreas Suri. James Belk Sutton, Jr. Aaron Baker Sykes, cum laude. Dane Danielle Scott Sawinski. Patrick James Toledo. Alexandra Leah Tampas, cum laude. Elizabeth Chalmers Terrell, cum laude. Rachel Jeanette Shea Thornton. Joseph Alexander Cardell Tillery. Jonathan Bradley Toquet. Caroline Suzanne Trainey, magna cum laude. Tyler Roger Trainum. Ashley Joanna Turner. William Douglas Erland. Matthew Robert Varga. Lisa Violet Wagner, in absentia. Emily Elise Washburn, cum laude. Emma Jane Wasson. Antonio Devin Watson. Mary Matthews Weldon. Robert Hartman Wendling, in absentia. Mark Alexander Western. Catherine Elizabeth Wilden, magna cum laude. Sarah Sims Wilbanks, cum laude. Julia Louise Wiles. Anna Pearson Williams. George LeBlanc Williams III. Jillian Shea Wiseman, magna cum laude. Grant Patterson Wolf. Haley Helen Youngener, summa cum laude. Brandon Michael Zamery. Claire Wallace Zevrel. Chilin Zhang. Neue Zhang. We will now present the candidates for the dual degrees, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. David Pierce Aguilard, summa cum laude. Kira Brooke Albritton. Elizabeth Trimble Blackhall, cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Boney. Melissa Janae Bowen. Kieran Ellis Carlisle. Rebecca Fages, magna cum laude. Lindsay Taylor Goen, magna cum laude. Matthew Benjamin Green, magna cum laude. Matthew Dylan Hooper, magna cum laude. Jordan Ronnie Lawson, cum laude. Savannah Morgan Lewis, magna cum laude. Lyden Taylor Manning. Sheridan Kate Murray, magna cum laude. Christopher David Pritting, cum laude. William Furtick Randall, summa cum laude. Eileen Gibson Robertson, summa cum laude. Vivian Mai Tran. James Reynolds West III, summa cum laude. We will now present the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree. John Ryan Allen, summa cum laude. William Robert Anderson, magna cum laude. Allison Elizabeth Andrews. Brianna Cerie Ashford Carroll. Zachary Joseph Bakewell. Jamie Lynn Barnett. Ernesto Barquet Arrambide. Justice Stephen Scott Wolfram Basinger. Michael Christian Bass, cum laude. Colin Andrew Baum. Abby Shea Badenbaugh. Paige Gabrielle Bolton, magna cum laude. Jarrett McKee Bond. Hannah Elizabeth Bowers. Abby Elizabeth Brazington, cum laude. Logan Martina Brown. Taylor Jane Bungie, summa cum laude. Carter Julian Bunn, in absentia. Mark Calcutt Butler. Kentrice Alicia Cameron, in absentia. Taylor Jessica Campbell, cum laude. Emily Rose Carter. Peggy Elizabeth Clements. Jessica Coralyn Collins. Leandria Alexis Combo. Catherine Elizabeth Covington. Ashley Madison Cox. Nyasia Angelise Daniels, in absentia. Jessica Faith Davis. Charles Madison DeCraft. Laura McLeod Dean. Carly Teresa Diltz. Adriana Noel Drolapas. Jennifer Susan Elia, cum laude. Alexandria Lee Brown Forster. Joanne Rose Franklin. Erica Taylor Fulton. Elliot Marie Gagnon. Anne Watts Gentry, cum laude. Chandler Bray Graham. Seth Morgan Greer. Rachel Ann Gresco, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Page Haltewanger. Walker Baxter Harwell. Andrea C. Heatherly, magna cum laude. Elena Kathleen Helmers-Wegman, cum laude. Kendall Elizabeth Hinson. Rivers Anderson Hawk, magna cum laude. Christopher Scott Hutto. Sarah Kristen Hutto, magna cum laude. Laura Michelle Heydrich, in absentia. Cameron McNeil Jackson. Campbell Hayward Jackson. Jessica Miranda Johnson. Hal Hunt Jones II. Brittany Lynn Joyce, magna cum laude. Avery Robbins Juksh. Risharia Imani Keller, magna cum laude. Griffin Davis Kimbrell. Alexandra Christine King. Drummond Edward Copernicus. Brooke Elizabeth Lane. Emily Lynn Ledford. Rhiannon White Lamaster. Sarah Grace Lindsay. Mary Catherine Lynn. Amber Michelle Lust. Tyreek Chantel Lyles, in absentia. Chris Marie Fafa Mensa. Ian Andrew Miller. Omar Donovan Mingo. Baxter Reed Murray, summa cum laude. Kyle Malik Nelson. Sahar Nematolahi. Ven Hien Nguyen. Brittany Shea Nelson, cum laude. Longinus Ikechukwu Nanotam II. Thomas Connor O'Neill, cum laude. Taylor Lee Owen. Michael Ray Owens, Jr. Robert Griffin Paget. Rebecca Lynn Parent. Catherine Adele Paris, cum laude. Savannah Ashley Patterson. Charles William Payne, cum laude. Timothy Curtin Phillips, summa cum laude. James K. Pratt III, summa cum laude. Hishan Ishtiak Kadri, in absentia. Michael Sean Ralph. Matthew William Reeves. Baron Banks Rigel. Colleen Patricia Riley, cum laude. William Owen Ronan. Warren Joseph Roth, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Schaefer Runge. Belle Faith Scott, cum laude. Nicholas Welton Sheely. Rachel Lee Shinnick. Mercedes Brooke Sizemore. William Martin Stegall. Delaney Savannah Stone. Keith Wilson Strasbaugh, Jr., cum laude. Dalton Eric Sullivan. Megan Elizabeth Sidnor, cum laude. Olin Thomas Tatham III. Eliza Vanderpool Taylor, magna cum laude. Nicholas Keith Taylor, in absentia. Marielle Elise Tigan, cum laude. Lindsay Rose Teisel, in absentia. Caitlin Abigail Tisdale. James Wilson Trotter. Abigail Marie Truitt, summa cum laude. Hunter Ray Wages, magna cum laude. Thomas Taskin Ward. Olivia Titelot Whitworth, magna cum laude. Christina Nicole Williams.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Wofford College class of 2019. Congratulations. flip the tassel. This year's wonderful present was a basketball. We had a pretty good year in basketball, and men and women's basketball. We had a great year in football, track and field, and tennis, and everything. Soccer, the whole shebang, baseball, et cetera, et cetera. But congratulations to all of you, our student athletes, our non-athlete students, on a successful year. And so what I'd like to do now is ask the parents and the families and friends who made it possible for all of you students to be here to please stand. Well, they're all standing already, so all of you should thank them. And I'd like to ask all the faculty, staff, and coaches who made your journey through these 4 years possible to please stand so all of you can thank them. Parents, you can all sit for a moment. We're almost done. Against good advice, I'm going to give you a few words. I just want you to know, I want to share a few thoughts and an invitation. I read an essay a while back that has always stuck with me. It was by Leonard Mlodinow, an author and physicist, and it was titled, It is, in fact, rocket science. The gist of his short essay is that simple stories of discovery, an apple falling on Isaac Newton's head, or Charles Darwin's conclusions on evolution after studying finches in the Galapagos Islands, belie not only the reality of the process of discovery, but really the richness and complexity of the process itself. And that, I would say to you, is life. Because we often read stories of successful people in business, science, the academy, humanities, and on and on. And often those stories offer up a moment where one becomes successful, whatever that may mean. But those short stories can deprive us of the true meaning of discovery. The hard work, the struggle, the time, the failure, the commitment to what it takes to be successful in whatever you may do. We had a definition, a fine and extraordinary definition of success by our speaker, Dr. Katie Close, because it is not measured by money, but by your sense of fulfillment in life. Of course, for some, that may be measured solely in money, and others, it may be measured in the care exercised for others, for transforming lives through teaching and service, by raising a family, and I can go on and on. So you need to be alert to your sense of fulfillment, a sense that will surely change over the years. And it does so because life is rich, it is complex, and its process is one to be savored at every moment, whether good or bad. So first, you should aspire. You should want to do or to be. Direct a vision of your life, knowing full well that it will be complex, yet it will be rich. And because it will most likely not be a straight upward line, but one with dips, and sometimes deep dips, and lots of turns, I want to share number 2, and that is persevere. Because it is precisely because of the ups and downs that we all experience that life is rich and complex, and every story of success, no matter what that term means to you, is shaped by perseverance, by the determination to confront adversity, not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity. Easy to say, but it is part of my own life experience, and make it yours. And finally, have some empathy. A sense of compassion, kindness, and understanding for others is essential to the fabric of a good society. It is also the essential fabric of our humanity. For others whose life circumstance is different than your own, No matter what that circumstance may be, socioeconomic, cultural, racial, religious, faith, sexual orientation, others are deserving of our empathy and support precisely because they are individuals like you and me, and one day you may find it necessary yourself to be in need of the same from others. So I want you to carry on from Wofford College today and know that you have a home here on this beautiful ground. Come home regularly and often and reconnect with friends and family, the memories and mentors who have guided, supported, educated, and lived with you for the past 4 years. And with that, I shall invite Perkins Prothero Chaplain and Professor of Religion, the Reverend Dr. Ron Robinson, a 1978 graduate, to come to the stage for the benediction and the alma mater. Please stand. The faculty and honorary degree recipients will recess first, followed by the class of 1969. We'll form lines, a congratulatory gauntlet for you, class of 2019, and we will head off to Lemonade on the Lawn.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace and joy this day and forevermore. Amen.
On the city's northern border, reared against the sky, proudly stands our alma mater as the years go by. May it ever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, dear old Wofford, hail.